Hello everyone, welcome to my review for Venom. Now, I want to apologize in advance because this might be a bit of a lackluster review because I didn't write a script for this and I'm a little too lazy to because I have a lot of reviews I want to make since I'm a little behind on some stuff and I'm a little bit busy with some other stuff. So let's get into the review. What did I think of this movie? It was okay. It's not nearly as bad as a 31% as all the critics have been, destroying this movie, and it wasn't nearly that bad. I liked it. I had a pretty good time the first time, and then I went to watch it a second time just to make sure how I really felt about it, and it was definitely worse the second time, but not like really bad. The first time I watched it with some friends, and it was just entertaining to me. The action was entertaining. I mean, I knew this movie has some pretty obvious story flaws, and there's not a lot you can't deny that it has some really bad flaws in the script. And but what makes this movie work is Tom Hardy, who plays Eddie Brock. He really puts in the effort for Venom. Venom and Eddie have such a good relationship in this movie. Which makes it really worth watching and entertaining because their dynamic together is just so good. It's very entertaining to to watch. Now, what drags this film down is the first act. The first act of this film is it's a little slow, a little boring. It probably could have been written well. Sadly, everything that's in there is kind of necessary for character growth and whatnot, but it at least to say it's not very interesting to watch. This movie definitely could have benefited better with a better villain. The guy who plays him is actually a pretty good actor. Just from I don't know any of his previous works, but just seeing him as Carlton Drake, just him acting, he was good. It's just there wasn't any depth to this character. There wasn't too much of a personal grudge between Drake and Brock. I mean, they tie them in together a little bit, but it's not strong at all. There's no good relationship between the two. The villain has no really good motive. He's just kind of your typical bad guy, and he's like a really typical bad guy. I mean, come on, he's wearing black all the time. How much more typical can you get? Venom is good. The symbiote Venom is entertaining. They got the look perfect. Like 10 out of 10. They got that perfect. The voice, which is also done by Tom Hardy, is perfect. Those two were nailed pretty well, but this movie kind of has some tonal inconsistencies. It goes for like really serious sometimes, and then really dark, and then really funny, and then whatever. It's just that the movie doesn't know what it wants to be. Actually, no, this movie knows what it wants to be. It wants to be dark, but it also wants to fit into the MCU, which is why it's rated PG-13, and it's another flaw I have with it. It should have been rated R. This movie has some good action, but it's just not satisfying at all. That one scene in the trailer where the Venom bites a guy's head off, it's basically just how it is in the trailer. He just grabs him, talks to him, you laugh a little bit, and then the screen cuts away from when Venom bites his head off, and it's like that wasn't satisfying at all. But I mean, I'm making this sound really bad, even though I said I liked it, and it sucks because this movie had so much potential. And it could have been, but it wasn't because it's trying to make money, and it's sad because it could have been so much better with like Deadpool. Kind of, it would have worked so much better if it was rated R. It sucks that they didn't want to take that risk, because I feel like if you're doing a Venom movie, it has to be rated R. And the end credits spoilers shows Carnage, or it teases Carnage rather, and I don't know how you're gonna do that movie without it being rated R. So hopefully they fix that. This movie wasn't terrible by any means. It has some good, strong points. Tom Hardy's acting, all the supporting cast is pretty good for the most parts. Venom himself is great. The action is pretty solid, I'd say. Um, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed, they do a pretty good job, and that's about it for the actors. There isn't too much to talk about because this movie doesn't really have too much to go over. It's funny sometimes. It has sometimes where you're really, really laughing. It has some really stupid moments that I couldn't help myself but laugh at. I'm laughing at the movie, not because it was supposed to be funny, and that's not good at all. It Once the second act picks up, the second act is definitely the strongest. You get Venom fighting SWAT, and Venom just having a good dynamic with Tom Hardy's character. It took a bit too long to get there, but and there are a few plot holes that I'm not really gonna care to mention because I feel like I'm kind of just nitpicking at the movie at this point. So I'm gonna head into my final verdict of this movie. I'm going to give it a 6. It's okay. Like, it's a fine movie. If you want to go see it, you can see it. I know I'm late on this review, so you've probably already seen it. So tell me what you thought about it in the comments down below, and I will see you guys again next time. Goodbye.